Ladies and gentlemen, please join me as I invite on stage the veteran in the solar industry with 30 plus years of experience and leadership. He started Nextracker in 2013 and led the company into leaps and bounds and a phenomenal IPO early this year. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together as I on stage invite now the visionary talk by the industry stalwart, Mr. Dan Shugar, the founder and CEO of Nextracker. Very warm welcome to you, sir. We're all looking forward to hear from you. And over to you.
Good morning. Such a pleasure to be in India doing solar after a long break from the pandemic. I first started working in solar in India in 1991, and it's been an incredible journey we're on. Really, India is one of the most exciting places in the world for solar, and I look forward to sharing some of our experiences and perspectives. So there's a fantastic development where the government in India supporting G20 goals has established really an objective of net zero. That's incredible. And for solar, that means 280 gigawatts of solar by the end of the decade. That's an amazing accomplishment. But there's more to the story. If we just do 280 gigawatts, is that enough? Well, we really need to, there's other things we can accomplish along the way. We want to enhance energy security and reduce export of money going out for energy coming into the country. Just this year to date, India has shipped out over $22 billion euros of currency to pay for oil just this year to date. So one of the things we can do is basically enable renewable energy to power electric vehicles that are all made in India to reduce these exports and stop support for petro-dictators. Additionally, India can become a top, use renewable energy to be a top contributor of growth and prosperity to the economy, creating employment, lowering power costs to customers, and bolstering trade as a top export sector. Attract sufficient investment at attractive interest rates with generating profitability for manufacturers, having reliable industry performance and stock, and enabling growth of the supply chain. And finally, deliver high-performing and high-quality systems that we are all proud of being part of and delivering. So these are big goals. Nextracker has accomplished all the above. We're not done, but we're really focused on supporting it. Outside of India, in the US, in Latin America, in Australia, and in India. And I want to call out my wonderful colleagues from Nextracker here celebrating this with us, and we're going to share our case study with you. Quick snapshot on Nextracker. Last fiscal year, we did about $1.9 billion. We are a technology leader with 350 patents issued and pending, 75 gigawatts of product shipped, and a successful IPO done this year. At the time we did it, was the largest IPO of the year. Today, our market cap is over $5 billion. We've been investing in India for a decade. We have built an incredible team in Hyderabad. We did India's first 100 megawatt solar power tracker. We delivered many projects across country. I'll cover that in more detail. And we've also built a global service team and support team from our company office in Hyderabad. We started exporting product in 2020, and as of today, we're exporting to 4 continents around the world, and have really grown our team. Today, we have over 200 staff in Hyderabad, but are helping employ thousands of people in the factories that are producing for our company. Yesterday, we sent a press release out with a new milestone. We have 4.5 gigawatts of new projects we're fulfilling, building on a significant population of legacy systems that we've delivered. So over 5 gigawatts either operating or in fulfillment. and I'll show you more detail on that in a moment. We also are celebrating a new level of annual capacity of 10 gigawatts to support both India and exports. Okay, where are all these projects? Well, they're in 7 states in India. We've had the privilege of supporting wonderful clients, which are listed on this slide, in 35 utility scale projects across India. We've been delivering since 2014. What we're really focused on is performance. Performance of our systems to generate the most amount of energy that's theoretically possible. Performance of meeting customer expectations, meaning the project, despite challenges, must meet the delivery schedule, the performance, and to help the customer navigate all the challenges that come up in any construction project, and delivering performance of financial results for our investors, where Nextracker should not only be a high-performing company for our investors, but we want to be a standard for the industry, the renewable power industry, and really taking solar to the next level, renewable energy to the next level, where it's viewed as an exemplary investment to attract additional capital. Because if we're going to accomplish our goal of having renewable energy as number one, we need to grow, we need to be profitable, and that means we need to attract additional investment into the sector. I mentioned our annual capacity of 10 gigawatts. That's a lot of capacity, okay, 10 gigawatts. And so where have we done this? Well, we've done this across India in geographically optimized regions that allow us to support our customers with on-time delivery of high-quality product that's made in India. And we support the Prime Minister's goal of Make in India. Today, we're at over 80% content for the materials we're delivering as we deliver. We have 12 factory partners that are producing for us today, creating over 2,000 direct jobs in India for this high content. And this has helped enhance supply security, on-time delivery, reduce currency risk, freight costs, all while not compromising on our quality standards. Systems we're proud of being able to deliver. And we've been exporting trackers from India to 4 continents all around the world. How have we accomplished this? Well, it's through really innovation and really focused on how do we deliver value to customers. We don't want to innovate for its own sake. We want to innovate to deliver features that advance the state of the art in solar. Not to follow things that are done in other countries, but to really create value. We have innovation across 3 main areas: mechanical, electronics and controls, and software. And all this technology is supported by over 350 patents. And I'll show a few examples of how this delivers value. On the mechanical side, up until a few years ago, if you built a tracker, the tracker needed to be built in one plane, okay? Now, you could be at an angle of plus or minus 15 degrees on a slope, but it had to be coplanar. That required a tremendous amount of earthwork or huge foundation investments in piers and piles and concrete in order to support the tracker systems. Well, our architecture is unique in that instead of supported from below, our tracker is actually suspended from above. It swings. Using this unique architecture, we've been able to develop a tracker that follows the land, that reduces the costs and necessity to bring bulldozers onto site. That speeds construction, lowers costs, and is better for the environment, not to damage the fragile topsoil. Today, we first introduced this technology. It's called NX Horizon XTR for extreme terrain following. It's in use on over 50 projects around the world. Another way, how do we deliver value? Okay, how do you follow the sun? Well, the idea of tracking is an old idea. It goes back in nature, billions of years. A sunflower follows the sun, makes more energy. In solar, it goes back to the 1960s. Up until through the 1980s, the way trackers worked is as the sun moved across the sky, the panels followed the sun. And as it set, the row facing the sun would be illuminated, but then 100 rows in back would be fully in shadow. In 1991, working with my colleague Howard Wenger, who's president at Nextracker today, we authored the backtracking algorithm to generate a little more energy out of the sun. That worked well for sites that are flat and well constructed, but there's additional entitlement, additional energy that can be generated. How? By dynamically monitoring atmospheric conditions and optimizing for diffuse conditions, or where you have particulates, to attenuate the angle closer to horizontal when it's very cloudy or diffuse, more perpendicular to the sun when it's clear. We launched this technology called True Capture 7 years ago that generates up to 4 to 6% more energy on systems. And today we have over 200 utility scale power plants using this technology all around the world. When you're talking about fleets the size of Nextracker's fleet, 75 gigawatts of material delivered, if we can get a couple more percentage points of energy out, it's like obsoleting a number of coal plants, okay? So this is something we're excited about. And this technology also helps follow the terrain and is adaptable with new technology. You can see how this works. A quick YouTube video called True Capture or Split Boost, and Split Boost shows exactly how this works. Okay, how else have we been successful in India? Well, our team, which is domiciled in Hyderabad, supports customers in the field with expert construction management advice, building golden rows, technical support, and deep engineering customer service. That we've had this office for 10 years in India. In this image, we support a customer with a golden row, show best practices for construction, and support the teams on site to make sure these systems are built properly. We've also been supporting India by growing a great team with a culture. Culture triumphs over strategy. Culture triumphs over plans to like be huge financially. Those things are byproducts of great culture. And we're on a mission for solar to be the #1 source of energy in the world. And by sticking to that mission, having a great culture, a great team, all the other things we want to get out of it, growing market share, great financial results, those are byproducts of focusing on a great team and culture. In this image, we celebrated Nextracker Family Day at Wonderlaw, and a number of our executives in our corporate office are here in Hyderabad are featured. Okay, India policy. Well, it's very exciting. What's happened? We started with renewable energy as a small part of the mix of the energy in India. 10% of the energy coming from renewables. Well, today we're approaching 25%. By the end of the decade, concrete plans exist to get to 50% of the energy for India coming from renewable power. In my career, I've consistently gotten something wrong. Every year, I miss something. I always underestimate the growth of solar. And I think we're doing that again, even here. Those are big aspirations, 50% of the energy from renewables. There's a very interesting picture. It's of New York City. The first image is around 1910. It shows the street. It's covered by horses and buggies. There's one car. 8 years later, the next picture, they're all cars with one horse and buggy. What's happening in solar is a breathtaking transformation of the largest industry in the world, which is the power and energy sector. What we've seen is technology is turning it on its head. We've gone from coal, 52% of the power generation in the United States, to today under 15%. Today, India is where, from a coal standpoint, the United States was 15 years ago. But now solar is at a much bigger scale. We're going to obsolete coal, not only abroad, but in India. It will happen in the lifetime of hopefully everyone in this room. So we're really focused on delivering that. 280 gigawatts of PV installations by 2030. Okay, that's a lofty goal. And while that's happening, generating wealth for customers of the solar power by lowering costs for them at their home and business, for the people that are engaged in the industry at every level, be it manufacturing, finance, development, operations, service, innovation, R&D. We want to basically create great careers for people and all the industries that are serving the industry. For every one manufacturing job we create, there's 5 support jobs: the truck drivers, the software people, the food and beverage people, everything. Well, Nextracker has already created over 2,000 direct jobs in India. That's 10,000 total jobs. These are good, well-paying jobs. And we want to achieve really support the government's objective of achieving net zero emissions by 2070. Other incentives. We've seen the government support basically the production and scheme in the US, and also in India, and also rally around really the G20 goals of an energy pledge. So we've come a long way. In 1991, when I first came here, I helped support the World Bank in doing the first project by the World Bank and those institutions of renewable energy. It was to help some of the off-grid water pumps be solar powered, so farmers could grow crops for their family because the grid power wasn't available. From those very modest beginnings, where a few systems, dozens of systems were installed in villages, to later hundreds and thousands, now tens of thousands of villages are being powered remotely with solar. For those modest beginnings. Today, solar is at a huge scale in India. It will be the dominant form of electricity in this country and around the world. And I've never been more excited to be part of the industry and proud of what India is accomplishing, and we're going to do our part at Nextracker to support the goals, the government objectives, and the Prime Minister's a vision for what can happen in this country. So I'd like to thank you very much for coming today and wish you a great conference. We've accomplished a lot, but we need to redouble our efforts because the world is on fire out there. Okay, there's a lot we've seen. You can't hide what's happening. We can solve this, but we really need to work quickly and collaboratively together. So we look forward to working with all our industry partners and helping accelerate a solar vision to today. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dan Shugar. That was very informative, and I would request the audience to join me as we would want to present a memento to Mr. Dan Shugar for sharing his thoughts with us. May I once again request you, sir, to kindly come on to the stage.